It's the Skipper Joe Show. I'm Skipper Joe, and this is the SV Luna C, a 1977 Sparkman Stevens designed 35-foot sloop-rigged sailboat. She's a beauty, but when I got her, she was in rough shape. All the deck core was rotted out, and the previous owner had begun repairs from below, so I donned my protective yet dorky clothing, moved ashore for 6 months, tore apart my home, and set about repairing the repairs. When the epoxy cured and all the new core was glassed in, I started thinking of the best headliner I could possibly have to make her look really good. I mean, I could go with, traditional panels, or I could get beadboard and paint it in an inappropriate color, or I could use leather. Leather. But, my old gal isn't some fancy schmancy gadget-glutted yacht. No, she's a clean, green, unique machine with an electric motor, a composting toilet. I even replaced the pressure water with foot pumps to conserve water. Leave no trace. That's our motto. So I needed a headliner that was sturdy yet appealing, with materials that are, sustainable yet unique. So after thinking and mulling, I settled on bamboo. It grows everywhere. It's hard as wood. It's a true grass, a monocotyledonous flowering plant. Bamboos are some of the fastest growing plants in the world due to a unique rhizome-dependent system. Plus, it just looks cool. I was a little concerned about a possible panda infestation, but I got over that irrational fear. So, after researching online companies, I settled on CaliBamboo.com. They have bamboo everything. Bamboo flooring, bamboo fencing, bamboo plywood. Maybe even one day they'll release a bamboo car. I'd totally drive that. But I was most interested in their bamboo planks. So I called them up and ordered 4 packages of 20 2-inch by 8-foot planks, which arrived in a timely fashion. The planks look great. They were flat on the inside, but with the natural bamboo curve on the outside. I mean, this is going to look good. So here's the before shot of the interior of the boat. This is the main salon ceiling. You can see where the previous owner slathered some goop on trying to stop leaks the wrong way. But that's, another video altogether. Then here's the starboard side storm berth. That's just bare fiberglass there. And then here's the port side. I'll be building a cabinet later there that you'll see. So I put on my protective clothing and set to work scraping and grinding everything so the support stringers and insulation would have a nice surface for the glue to adhere to. Then, using my chop saw, I cut out the stringers. These are the supports that I'll eventually screw the bamboo to. So please note, I'm not actually working this fast. I sped up the frame so you don't have to sit through a 2-hour video. Okay, well, it looks like they're all going to fit nicely, so then I just glue them in with thickened epoxy. And there they are, top and hull. And then, with movie magic, I insulate the hull with 2 layers of reflective bubbles and 1 layer of polyethylene. Okay, then, using that chop saw again, I began cutting the planks to size and screwing them in there. I'll show you in a bit how I countersunk the screws. Now, when I got to the bottom of the hull, I noticed I would need to pattern and cut a piece lengthwise, so I did that, which I'll show you in a second as well. It comes out looking pretty darn good. Now, you remember when I was talking about countersinking? You'll have to be careful, or you'll punch a hole all the way through like I did there. Well, that'll be filled with putty later. Now, this is how I did the countersinking. I just used one bit that was slightly smaller than the screw, drilled all the way through, then took a bit just a little bigger than the head of the screw, and went in very shallow. Now see, this is where you need to be very careful. I managed to only punch 2 holes all the way through out of hundreds of screw holes. Now, one thing about bamboo is it's very stringy, and the grain leaves, I guess you could call those hanging chads, which are easily removed by a little sandpaper and a razor knife. It'll be sanded down finer later when I apply protective clear polyurethane to all the planks. Now that's it, a countersunk hole. And now for the cutting lengthwise of the planks to fit in awkward spots. Using a compass, I trace the shape I need directly onto the plank. It was suggested that I use a keyhole saw to cut the plank, but I found the saw to be awkward and clumsy, or maybe it's just me, maybe I'm awkward and clumsy. So anyway, I dig out my jigsaw and C-clamps and took the whole production outside to my work table. Being very, very careful, I cut the shapes I needed it. It seemed to be an efficient technique, but I was really careful. So anyway, after plugging away, I finished the starboard side storm berth. And look at this. Oh, it looks way better than I even expected. Then I just used the same techniques on the port side storm berth. There's that cabinet I told you I was going to build. The hull part of the little cubby hole was easy enough, but the ceiling required some creative cuts. This was time-consuming and an awkward space to work in, but by the end of the day, voila, fancy schmancy. Although you never really see it, it is indeed there for future generations to behold. So, I'm really liking the way things are looking, which is good because then I stay motivated to finish this project and get moved back at home. So now the ceiling, using the same techniques of countersinking and cutting to shape, I finished that off pretty quickly, although my neck hurt from looking up so much. But it's beautiful. Okay, now the finishing steps. With all the pieces cut, drilled, and dry fit, I take them all back down and I number them carefully on the inside with arrows pointed forward so I know where they go. Then I sand down all the rough edges, coat them with polyurethane, and find very creative ways to dry them. The planks are delivered raw and unfinished, so they are in need of protection from the wet marine environment. Plus, the clear satin just looks pretty. I did this in 3 batches. I did the starboard planks first, and then I did the port planks, and then I did the ceiling planks. And that was it. I was done, except for the cleaning. Okay, now here's my favorite part. The befores and the afters. Okay, now this is the starboard side before. Look at that. It's ugly. It's bare fiberglass, lots of rotted wood. And here it is after. Oh, pretty. Look at that. I love it. Okay, then over on the port side, there it is before, without a cabinet, ugly, rotted nastiness, and afterwards, pretty. I put a lot of stuff in that cabinet. The bamboo looks awesome. Okay, now here's the ceiling before. All that slathered goop I was talking about earlier. Nasty. And afterwards, beautiful. It's like a whole new boat. Oh, I'm so happy. Anyway, that's it. This is your last little shot of my new home. I love it. I never knew I had so many fans. There's the pillow I'm going to use when I take a nap a little bit later. A banjo-lele. Oh, look at the bottom of that, under the backpack. I did some cool work there. Anyway, you should try it. I like it. It makes the boat look very, very unique. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you around soon.